Hello. So I'm heading up to South Lake Tahoe for a camp. I don't know why we're stopped here. I'm on the side of the mountain. Let's see what it looks like out there. It's beautiful here. And I'm a little out of my element, a little nervous because I've never driven in the snow. And although it's dry today, I should be okay. But I might have to drive home, come back down the mountain in the snow. So I'm a little nervous. But you never get over it unless you do it, right? So I think I got about a half an hour to go. Tahoe's a 2-hour drive from where I live. So I'll bring you back when I get there and set up my camp, and should have a really good camp. Snow looks really nice up there. Look at that, yay. I was really hoping for snow on this trip. And so it should snow tomorrow at my camp. I'm hoping I wake up with 1 to 3 inches, they said. So that'll be fun. But, yeah, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why we're stopped. The road's clear. It's been an easy drive. So we'll check back in. Oh my gosh. Look at all the snow. I'm a nervous wreck. The road's still clear though. So I just got to my spot here, and I'll show you what it looks like. They do plow the campground. There's a ton of snow, as you can see. I'm pretty excited because this will be my first snow camp, and I just got to decide where I want to set up my tent and my tarp. Of course, I have the one spot that doesn't have hardly any trees close by, but I did bring plenty of tent poles and lots of stakes. And check out, I'll just turn the camera around with the phone. You can see it's pretty windy, but I'm kind of protected in here. It's just a little bit of a light breeze down here. But I'm thinking maybe to set my tent up, maybe right out in that area. It's pretty open. Because here's my car, you know, so, or even right here. So I'm gonna get my big rubber boots on. They're insulated and toasty warm, and start packing everything, getting everything opened up. I got about 2.5 hours to get my tent set up before it snows. So I will set up a camera and try and video this, and then I'll check back in. Okay. Okay. Well, it's got some blue sky, but it's snowing. Yay! My tent's up, so that's good. I just need to put the guy lines out, and I'm working on my tarp right now, but yeah, check it out. Snow. It's tiny, but it's snow. My hands are totally warm. It's not even cold out here because I've been working, but I'm glad I brought my rubber boots, and I'm glad we bought these gloves, and I'm really gonna be glad for my stove later. So I gotta get my tarp up. Whew. Starting to snow now, and the wind has really picked up. And I am really hoping that everything holds. I've got this thing guyed down in so many spots. So cross your fingers. The wind is supposed to die down, I think. Well, first it showed it at 19, and then it was 21, and then it shows it going down to 16, 15, whatever. But I put my tarp up over the corner here so I can leave my door open. And a little snow is blowing under, but not much. But I'll be closing this because I pretty much got everything unloaded. And now I just, I need a coffee. I'm like, oh, now I get why as soon as they get set up, yeah, then coffee's the next thing. I don't think I'll be making a fire outside tonight. It's just too windy. And you can hear the snow hitting the top. I'm pretty excited. This is my first snow camp. And I got a mess in here right now. Ugh. But now that I've got everything unloaded, the snow is starting, I can kind of relax. Oh, sit. I got my cot already out here, and I have one of these folding things, insulating pads, and then I have my blow up insulating pad, so I should be plenty warm tonight. I have my tent staked down with like 12-inch huge stakes. I didn't put the snow on the skirt because I kind of want the airflow underneath. Because once I get this stove going, it's going to get hot in here. And so I like the, I like the breeze. And I'll close up my door if I need to. I did put a fan up there so I can blow the heat back down. And I just need to organize my firewood. I got a whole box of small stuff over there. That's all redwood. It goes pretty quick. Then I've got some oak and eucalyptus. Some of these are too big, but I'll pick the smaller ones out. I've got my little stuff for getting my fire going, which I'll be doing in just a minute. And then I got a whole nother one of wood that I actually cut it to fit. So those are some big ones. I'll throw those in overnight if I want to keep it going, but it's pretty warm in here. This is kind of surreal. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and there was a point earlier when I was trying to put my tarp up and the wind kept pulling it out of my hand, and I couldn't film it because it was my camera kept blowing over. And so I can't figure out how. I don't have the thing on here to turn the camera around without stopping it. The reverse, I don't know. It doesn't come up. I don't understand why. I can take a picture. This is weird. Anyway, so you can't see me, and I'll set my camera up in a while. But look at that, it's blowing sideways. But I'm out of the wind in here. I do have a little bit open over there. I could pull that down a little bit tighter, but I might not. I'm in my One Tigris Rock Fortress tent, and that's a One Tigris tarp. So hopefully they are gonna stand up, because it's not, 20-mile-an-hour wind is not bad. If it gets stronger, which it might, but I do have all the guy lines out. I have it staked down really well. So we'll see. But I'm gonna get a fire going and make a coffee, and I'll probably change my clothes now. I kept all my dry clothes in the car just because I'm, you're sweating and I want some dry clothes on. So I'm gonna do that and then we'll check back in. So it's kind of funny, it's pretty warm in here. It's snowing outside, really snowing now, but the heat from the tent is just, it's not even sticking to the tent, it's just melting. But you can see outside, if it'll, a little too washed out maybe. There we go. You can see the snow's coming down. It's sticking on the tarp over here. I did drop the sides down so it doesn't squash my tarp, but it's warm inside. And I forgot my coffee, so I have to have a hot chocolate. I really wanted a coffee, but luckily I did bring hot chocolate. So I got a nice little fire going in here. It's toasty warm. And I think I'm not hungry really, so I don't know if I'm gonna make food. I might make something to eat later. But for now, I'm just watching some videos on YouTube, just kind of relaxing. And it's cool because I'm actually in an RV site, so I have power and water. So I brought an extension cord and ran it over here, and just brought myself an old power strip, so I can just plug all my stuff right into that, and don't have to worry about how much juice I use. So I might just download a movie. I'm a little sleepy. I might want to take a nap. You hear the snow hitting the top. You can see it landing here, but it just melts really quickly. You see the little snowdrops landing, and then they're just melting up there. But this is a 4-season tent, so I should be good in here. We got snow on the ground over there. I did just bring a ground tarp. You know what I didn't think about, because I didn't realize there was this much snow on the ground here, is this blue tarp is so slippery on the ice, on the snow under it, because I packed it down and basically made ice. So I have to be really careful walking. But yeah, it's peaceful here. I thought about walking over to the camp store, but I'm kind of lazy. I think I'm gonna download a movie and lay down on my cot and maybe fall asleep for a while, take a little nap, get up later, see what the snow's doing. So I'll check back in later, finish my hot chocolate. So I've just kind of been sitting here, just relaxing, listening to the snow. And I thought about walking over to the camp store because I forgot my coffee. Dumb Cindy. But luckily I had my hot chocolate. It's pretty tricky in here. I got 2 poles because I have 1 pole through the top to hold up my tarp so I can cover my door. That way I can just close the door without a bunch of snow coming in. Or rain, because we're going to have rain. But yeah, it's so relaxing out here. It's quiet. I can hear something off in the distance, but I can't tell if it's wind or if it's cars. I'm not sure. But yeah, this is nice. It is so hot in here. I'm just cooking. I think the fire's finally starting to make some coals. I will for sure let this die out tonight, because it's only supposed to get down to about, I don't know, 30, I think it said 32, 31, 30. Yeah, right around there. I don't think it's not going to go below 30. And I'm a hot sleeper, so I'll be warm. And so I'll just go ahead and let this die out when I go to bed later. But tomorrow night, it's going to get down to 20, 21, 20, 21, right in there. It kind of fluctuates. I don't know if I've ever been in that cold. I think 26 degrees was the coldest I've ever been in, and that was up in Tuolumne Meadows in Yosemite. We were backpacking. And I did okay. I had my backpacking sleeping bag, which is, mine is only rated to 30 degrees, which means you'll survive at 30, but you could not, you might not be toasty warm. I was warm. I have my Kelty sleeping pad. We were sleeping on the ground in our tents, and yeah, it wasn't cold. If I put, excuse me, if I put my hands outside of my sleeping bag, they would get cold. But I stayed warm, and this sleeping bag is much thicker. It's not a backpacking sleeping bag. It's a Coleman, I don't know what all it's made out of. And I have another blanket, a double layered flannel heavy blanket that's absolutely huge, so I'll just fold it in half. Got my big down pillow. I'm gonna be pretty warm. So I'm charging up my iPad because of course it was completely dead, and I want to download a movie to watch. I wanted to fly the drone out there, but it's just too windy. I can see where the stovepipe goes out. There's a little crack there. I can see out. But yeah, it's so warm in here. The snow is just melting on my thing here. But I don't know if you can see the tarp out here. I don't know if you can see back that far, but it's covered with snow. I just went over, refilled my water bottle. I didn't bring any water with me because my cat chewed or clawed a hole in my big 5-gallon water jug. It's one of those collapsible $10 ones from Sportsman's Warehouse, but I loved it, so now I gotta get another one. And it had a pinhole in it, and I think it had about 2 gallons of water. It was sitting on the dining room table, and there was just water everywhere. Cats, oh my gosh. I see I have a couple pieces of firewood that are poking my tent. I need to move those. I don't want them putting a hole in it if the wind blows it. This is pretty strong. Look at all that water on there. Ooh. Kind of sticks. It doesn't run down. It doesn't just pour off of it. It sort of sticks to it. But yeah, you can hear that snow. Around 9 o'clock, it said heavy snowfall, 1 inch to 1.5 inches this evening, and then I think it kind of tapers off overnight and just light snow tomorrow, and around 10 o'clock it's going to be done. And then it's probably going to be clear skies, which is why I would assume it's going to be so cold. But then on Friday afternoon, late Friday, rain comes in, so I'll try to pack up and get out of here before it starts raining. I'm thinking there's probably going to be a lot of ice stuck to my tent. I might take my tarp down before so it's not frozen in the morning, because that'll be hard to fold it up, but everything else we'll just have to deal with it. So yeah, I'm just hanging out, charge that up, watch a movie, relax a little bit, maybe go out and walk around. It's weird not having my little dog. I miss my Raider. He's my good camping buddy, but I think that would have been too cold for him. He wouldn't have left the tent. I don't think it would have been fun. He would have been sitting there the whole day in his blanket. But yeah, it's fine. This thing's finally heating up. It's really hot in here. I might move over there. I have this little, oh, does that get hot? I got one of these little things. You set it on there and it definitely blows air. I have it sitting on there. I thought tonight it might circulate some heat down lower because all the heat goes up. I do have a fan up there too that I could turn on this evening, but I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to dry out my big boots. I did go change my socks, put my hiking shoes on because my feet were cold, because I think I just was sweating in those heavy boots because they're waterproof, they're rubber, and they're lined, they're super warm. So yeah, I'll check back in later. Snow. Snow everywhere. They do keep these roads cleared. I guess they come through every so often. I'm just gonna take a quick little walk over to the bathroom. Thought I'd video a little. If I sound like I'm out of breath, it's because I've been hustling around doing stuff. And we're about 6,200 feet, so I'm not used to the altitude. But it is beautiful. Look at this. I love it. There's actually quite a few people out here. I'm not alone. So, okay, I'll check back in. See you in a bit. Good morning. It was a bit of a rough night, but I survived it. My first snowstorm. We had some really heavy wind gusts. God, well over 20 miles an hour at sometimes. I think a couple 26, which is a lot when you're in a tent. And whenever the wind would gust, it would sitting on my bed, and I had a bunch of stuff sitting here that now I'm sitting on. Oh, there we go. We had a bunch of gusts that would blow all the clumps of snow out of the trees straight down, and scare the hell out of me a couple times. I was asleep, and it just sounds like somebody's outside just, banging, just doing that, and it just wakes you up. The woman that works at the camp store where I checked in said she had not seen bears for months. She said it had been 3 or 4 months, so I wasn't worried about bears. She did say that they had all had their babies, and so they were all tucked in and probably wouldn't be out until, middle of March or so. And it's just middle of February now. It's actually, happy Valentine's Day. It's Valentine's Day. And luckily, my fire, I still had some coals that were hot, so all I had to do when I woke up was just roll over and reach out and pop a couple of small little branches in there. I've got a whole box of those. And it started right back up. But I knew it was still warm because my little fan was still spinning, and it just wasn't that cold in here. It's 30 degrees right now. My outside. It's pretty warm in here. It's pretty warm in here, but 30 degrees outside, and it is snowing. I can hear it very lightly, and the snow is supposed to be done by noon, and at noon I think there's only like a 24-30% chance, and at 11 there was like a 40% chance, so it's gonna let up. I haven't even been outside yet, and I have a little bucket toilet there, so if I have to pee in the middle of the night, I don't have to leave my tent. And so that thing is awesome. I love it. And you just put liners in it. Really easy. Because I do not want to have to get up and walk all the way out to the bathroom, which is, it's quite a ways. It's close, but in the middle of the night, it's a long ways away, and it was just snowing like crazy. So anytime I have a big tent, I bring my little porta potty with me. So I'm just going to, I forgot my coffee yesterday. I'm so stupid. I'm going to walk over to the camp store when the snow stops. I don't know what time they open, and see if they have some coffee. But for now, I'm going to make a hot chocolate and drink some water because I'm so thirsty. And then, I have in here some oatmeal for breakfast. Oh, if I can reach it. And I'm just going to, I think, kind of stick with backpack food. Because I'm lazy and that's easy. And so I always bring way more food than I need, just in case. Now, if anything had happened here, excuse me, I'm choking on my water. If anything had happened here, I could just jump in my car and drive across the street, or down the road to the casino. So here's what I have for breakfast. And I don't put the peanut butter in it because it's way too overpowering. It just makes it, it tastes like you're eating a peanut butter sandwich. I might add a little bit because it's, it's flavorful. I've had this before and I really like it. But like I said, it's just, the peanut butter is just too much. It's just, you could, I guess, put as much as you want in there. Now I'm all congested from coughing. I can see my tarp has really sagged down because it's stuck to the front of my tent here. And here, I'm going to show you this. Whoa. So you can see how it's the shadow here. And then down low, I can see there's quite a bit of snow piled up. Yeah, there's quite a bit of snow piled up along the edges. So there was a kind of a cold breeze coming in here last night, and it stopped because that snow holds the tent down. But I do have a little hole there for ventilation, and then I've got both of my vents wide open at the top. And I don't know if that side has got any venting down there. I can't see it, but I do have my, if you can see right here, I'm just holding my phone here. I do have my carbon monoxide detector over there, just in case. So, let's stick you back where you were. It's right there. And I'm just chilling in here. It's getting nice and toasty. I did make a major mistake. I thought all the wood that I brought was cut to the size of my stove, but it's not. I only had a small stack of, heavier logs that would fit in there. They got me through the night, fine, but it's going to be really cold tonight. So what I'm going to do is walk over to the camp store and see if they have a little hand axe or a little handsaw, because I don't have one. And that's one thing I need to get. And I will split some of these bigger ones. I do have a nice little hatchet here, and I just put it on the top and I hit it with my little sledgehammer. It splits them. They're all really dry. And then I can just, once they're a little bit smaller, I can just, saw the ends off, saw them in half or whatever, just so that I have enough for tonight. Once once the snow stops, or maybe, as long as it's not windy, I haven't been out there yet, I might make a fire in my fire pit and sit out under my tarp this morning. I do have plenty of warm clothes, and I can put my boots back on. They were damp inside last night, and I did something really stupid. I was trying to make a little more space for myself in here, because it's not, this says it's a 4 to 6 person tent. But that would only be if you don't have a stove in here and you have nothing else and all of you sleep on the ground next to each other. This is crowded if you have a lot of stuff, like I always bring too much stuff. It's crowded for one person. With the pole in the middle, and the stove. I can't wait to use it in the summer though, because I did buy the inner for this tent with the bug net. It has the floor on it. I wouldn't have the stove, so I'd have whole half of it for, you know, my chair and everything else. And then I probably wouldn't bring the cot. Well, I might bring the cot, but if I didn't bring my cot and just slept on the ground, it would leave me a lot more room. Actually, it's 12 by, it's 6, it takes up half the tent. So 6 by whatever. Actually, I would still have plenty of room in here, even with my cot. And then I'm a little more comfortable. But yeah, that'll be my plan for later this summer. So, I want to get my hot chocolate going, because I could use a hot chocolate. And grab my cup, which is way over here. And I got to be really careful because this tarp on the snow is super slippery. And if you're not careful, your feet slide out from under you. And I have my chair, which is easier to get out of than off the cot. This cot's pretty low to the ground. But my chair has all my stuff sitting on it. My jacket, my gloves. Oh, there's my little down puffy. I was looking for that last night. Didn't know what I did with it. My bag of dry clothes. Oh, I started to say with my boots what I did last night, because they were a little bit damp inside. I think from sweating, from walking around, because they're super warm. From walking around, packing the snow down, putting up the tent. Oh, you know what? Before I make my hot chocolate, I have to pour the water. My cup, it's one of these, has the measuring inside. So I have to measure my water with that to pour into my oatmeal before I fill my coffee cup up with hot chocolate. So, and this only takes a cup. This is a single serving pack. So after, you're never going to get to hear the end of this story about my boots. After, last night I was trying to make more room for myself, so I put my boots in the car. So they're probably freezing cold, still damp, when I should have left them in here and hopefully dried them out by the fire. But I will make sure that I bring them over here today. Well, I'm going to have to wear them this morning because I think the snow's kind of deep. But get rid of the little oxygen packet. Here's the peanut butter packet. That's how much peanut butter goes in this thing. That's a lot. That's like an ounce. What does it say? 1.15 ounces. Yeah, I'm not going to use that. I'm just going to have the oatmeal. Yeah, so my boots are going to be cold, but I am probably going to need to put them on, because I don't think, when I bought these boots, these are just hiking boots, they're super comfortable. I got them a little bit big so that even if I go hiking, they're not going to hurt my feet. So I will carefully make my way to the car, put my rubber boots on, and I have plenty of extra socks. So even if my boots are still wet inside, my feet won't be cold. This is going to take a while for this water to heat up because my fire is barely going. I don't want to waste too much wood. Oh, you know what? It's hot enough for oatmeal. It's steaming and starting to bubble at the bottom. So, this is about halfway is for oatmeal. I think half. It's a 2-cup cup, so yeah, that should be enough for my oatmeal. Pour it in there without burning my fingers. Stir it up and close it. Yeah, so today should be nice. I'll probably just be trying to solve my main problem of having enough firewood tonight, because it is going to be cold and I want to keep that thing fed. I was awake, got off and on most of the night. I was just watching movies on Netflix. Luckily I get a service, or a cell service here. It's not great, it's a little bit slow, but once it comes on, I can't get the zipper to close on my oatmeal. Come on. They usually close pretty easily. I'll just fold it over, it'll be fine. Once Once I get the fire going, I want to be able to have enough large logs just to toss a log in and not have to mess with stirring it up. Even if it stays just simply coals in there all night, it makes a huge difference. And my sleeping bag and everything was really warm. And Dave had a good idea. He's like, take a bunch of those hand warmers, which, you know, we always have a ton of those, and pour them in put them in your sleeping bag down by your feet. And so I did. I put a bunch down by my feet, but I also put a bunch up by my side, because I tend to sleep on my side a lot. And so my side that was facing the tent wall, it stayed pretty warm. I mean, a couple times I had to poke my arms outside of my sleeping bag because I got a little warm, a little too warm. But yeah, when I did sleep, I slept good. I was really comfortable. But like I said, that really loud, where's my lid? Of course my lid's all the way over there. Well, I don't need it, just try not to kick it over. Uh-oh, somebody's dogs run off from them. That's never good. Clearly they don't have him on a leash. I think all dogs, I think it's required you have to have them on a leash. Sorry. Yeah. Just taking their dogs for a walk. Alright, well, I'm gonna turn this off. Excuse me. Oh, God, I look rough. Good morning. I don't know which side to look at when it's this way. Yeah, I'm gonna get up and eat my breakfast and then go check things outside, and then we'll be back. Okay. Yeah, we got some snow. And ooh, that's gold. I don't want this going inside. Where's the door edge? Okay. Carefully get a couple things out. Okay. So I went and got my boots. And put my gloves on. But I took the middle poles down so that the snow wouldn't weigh it down. And most of it ran off pretty good. But man, we had some nasty wind gusts and it stayed up, so I'm pretty happy. Whew. But yeah, we got a lot of snow. How deep my footprints are. Like, I don't know, 8 inches. But now there's snow on all the trees. It's beautiful. I'm gonna walk over to the store, which is right there. If they're open, there's a little road right there. I watched they just went by with the plow. And see if they have some coffee and a little handsaw. So I'll be back. shit. Where's my pole? Yay. Woof. My fire pit. So I need to get a fire going out here. Got my tent put back up. I mean my tarp. I dropped the sides pretty low so the snow would just run off last night. And one of my poles got completely buried. It worried me. I thought I was gonna have to start digging through the snow to find it, but luckily I did. I have a bit of a dilemma. See, now the snow's blowing in this way. It's not actually snowing right now. I think that's just blowing out of the trees. Like that. Yeah, it's beautiful. The trees they just look amazing. I kind of think, I'm no tree expert, but these are all pine trees. I don't know what kind. But it looks like how the needles grow in clumps. They're designed for the snow to weigh them down, and then it just falls off. They're not flat, so it doesn't really hold the snow. The sun's out over here. It's kind of, I don't know if it's foggy or cloudy. There's a little bit of a breeze. But there's snow blowing all around. So I'm going to get my fire out here going. I think I'm going to put it right out there at the end of the tent. I got a feeling this is going to be falling all day and probably start dripping later because it's going to warm up to about 36, 35, 36 today. Yeah, those clumps. And there's no trees directly above me. That's the closest one. So everything's just kind of blowing. It was too windy last night to worry about. I was going to set up some trail cams. I did not want to be out there in that wind. It was gusting. And unfortunately, I did have a few animals go through. It looks like maybe some rabbit tracks, and definitely a deer walked right through there. And tonight, though, for sure, it's supposed to be still. It's not going to snow. It's not going to rain. It's not supposed to be windy. It's going to get cold. It's going to get down to 20 tonight. And so I'll probably set up, I have, I don't know, 3 or 4 trail cameras. I think I'm going to stick them on the trees around here if I can. I don't know if the strap's long enough to go around. Some of these trees, the trunks are pretty big. But today I got to figure out how to get wood cut up small enough to fit in my tent stove, because one of the boxes I brought, I thought it was full of wood that we had cut to that size, but I must have used most of it when I was up at Jackie's on my last trip. And all the wood I have is too big by, you know, maybe an inch. And I walked over to the camp store to see if they had a hand saw, which they do not. They weren't even open yet. They don't open till 10, and it was only 8:30. And they don't have coffee. And they're clearing the roads. I'm going to wait a little while. I might drive into town and see if I can't find a little handsaw. I know there's going to be I think there's a Target or a Kmart or something right around the corner. I'm such a chicken. I've never driven in snow. But Dave assures me if I just put it in X mode, that Subaru is designed to drive on the snow or ice, whatever. That's what worries me, not so much the snow, but the ice. But hopefully if I wait a while on the actual roads, it will melt. So, you know, everybody driving on it, it should be okay. And it's going to be clear today. I think it's supposed to be a really beautiful day. It is so far. I'm loving this. Yeah, it was a rough night sleeping, for sure. But that tent didn't move, and my tarp held up. This is a brand new tarp. I would have cried if it ripped, but I think I had it set up in a way that the wind would blow over it. I lowered the sides, the middles, so the snow would run off, it wouldn't get heavy. And then every so often I would just hit the sides every time I would get up to put wood in the fire or, you know, whatever. I would knock the snow off of it. And on the tent, it just, because it was warm in there all night, it didn't even, you know, it only settled a little bit around the bottom, but it did go all the way around my snow skirt. I didn't put snow on it. And so I think it held later in the evening after it snowed quite a bit, it held the heat in there a little better. I wasn't getting that air up through the bottom. But I wasn't worried. I do have a, I think I said earlier, I have a carbon monoxide detector in there. And it's a brand new one. And when you first put the batteries in it and it chirps, it makes your ears bleed, so I know it works. And it just reads 0. So I think just the vents at the top and a little crack at the bottom is all you need. You know, as long as your stove is working properly. So I got to figure out how to make a little more room in there tonight. Well, tonight I'll be able to put a lot more stuff away. Nothing that I used, anything that I didn't use, I'll put in the car tonight. And, you know, because I was pretty crowded every time I tried to get up and move around. I was running into things, and yeah, I can't believe they say that's a 4 to 6 person tent. Not unless you're just sleeping on the ground with nothing in there with you. I gotta remember to keep my rubber boots in the tent tonight so the inside dries out. My feet are a little bit cold, not bad. I can feel they're cool. Not enough that I would notice it unless I think about it. But yeah, I never should have put them in the car last night. I'm not experienced at all in winter camping. You know, I never did this. But I figured a campground here in Lake Tahoe is a good place to start, and you're never going to get over your fears if you don't get out and do it. And my fears are just mostly driving back and forth, getting here, and having my tent blow down in the middle of the night. I don't worry about the animals. I've never been, you know, I mean, the bears concern me. I think about it, especially when we go up, if we go backpacking up into Yosemite or whatever. That's the only time I really think about bears. But it's just black bears, and usually they just leave you alone. But the campgrounds, I'm a little too close to the edge. I'm getting a little snow touching me. The campgrounds tend to have a frequency of bears coming through. She told me last night that all the bears, I think I already mentioned this, but all the bears have had their cubs, and that they just all had them. I don't know how she knows all of them, but she specifically said every bear has had its babies. They must have collars or something on them, I don't know. But she said they're all tucked in. She goes, you're not likely to see one, and she said that she hasn't seen a bear in months. So that made me feel better. I just left my, you know, I haven't brought my bear canister with my backpacking food. I didn't bring anything. No, I did bring bacon and eggs. But the bacon's not open. The package is new. I left all of it in my tent last night. I didn't even worry about it. It's kind of cool. I've got some icicles on a couple of my guy lines over there hanging down. There was some ice on the edge of my tarp. I should be able to just leave my tarp up tonight. You know, I check the weather forecast every few hours because it really changes fast here. And as long as it's, you know, no snow in the forecast and no wind, I think I'll just leave it up tonight. it is nice to have a little shelter outside because it's cramped in the tent. If I sit on my bed, I'm comfortable, but it's hard to get up because it's only like this high. I didn't buy the one with the extra feet that, you know, you put the crossbar on the bottom of a lot of the cots and then the little feet. I didn't buy the one with the little feet because with a teepee tent that just raises it up higher and it's likely to, you know, touch the edge of your tent. And actually what I did last night is I took my ice chest, which I didn't even open. I brought a couple beers and bacon and eggs, that's all that's in it. And I put it at the corner of my cot up against the tent wall so that it couldn't touch my bed. That way if there was condensation, my sleeping bag by my feet wouldn't get wet if it moves in the night. And then on the front side, I did the same thing with my bear canister. And so it kept the walls away from me, even though they started to get a little bit weighed down on the end with snow. I think I did a pretty good job of guying it out. I used every single guy line point that I could find. And yeah, it's beautiful. I'm gonna need to change my camera batteries. I'll give you a look at what it looks like. Here's what I'm looking at over here. It's just quiet. You know, the guys come through here with the snow plow and you know, they zip around and they're plowing the roads on the inside of the camp. I'm surprised how many people are out here camping. Our RVs. I think I'm the only idiot out here in a tent. I gotta figure out my wood. Yeah, that's a lot of snow up in the trees. It's just blowing, I think, out of the trees right down here. So, yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do today. Probably, if I decide to run into town, I'll do that. But I'm gonna get a fire going in a little bit, I think. And my chair here was covered with snow this morning, and it was kind of frozen. And so I won't need my raincoat. So I thought, oh, I'll just, you know, I got all the snow out I could, but it was still, the seams were wet. I didn't want to sit on it, but I thought I was going to throw my raincoat in the car because it's not going to rain or snow. I won't need it. I still have my heavy jacket in there and my fleece. Well, I'll just put that on the chair and sit on that. It's waterproof. Because this is my comfy chair. I almost didn't bring it. I was trying to bring as little as I could this time. But then I changed my mind. It's so nice. The sun's hitting me now. I don't even have my gloves on. My hands aren't even cold. And it's 30 degrees out here, 31 degrees. According to the weather forecast. I don't have a temperature gauge. If I go into town, I'm going to buy one for tonight because it is going to get cold tonight. I have enough wood to get me through the evening, so I'll be comfortable until I go to bed, but I'd really like to have a few fat logs in there because I wake up every 2 hours. And when it's cold like this, I have to pee over and over at night. I don't know why. When it's hot, I sleep all night when I'm warm at home. But when I'm camping and it's cold, it's so frustrating because I'll be so comfortable and wake up and I'm like, oh my God. Sometimes I wish I was a man and I could just use a bottle. But no, I have to get up. But my little porta potty thing in there works great because at least I don't have to come out of my tent. Unzip my tent and find a bear standing there. I have packed down my little area here. See if you can see that. It's like a little ice path. It's so slippery right here. I have to be really careful. I've been walking like a duck all day so I don't fall on my butt. Because I'm too old and fat. I don't need to be falling down, breaking a hip. The guy was probably laughing at me. He was going one way with his snow plow and I was walking down the road and I'm just like, whoa. Trying to be so careful not to step on the ice and slip. These boots have good traction, but not on the ice. They're great in the mud. I never slip at home in the mud. And they're just muck boots. They're not made for snow, I don't think. They're just made for, outdoor work and your feet don't get wet. And this is all I had. I guess if I continue to try and, I get really distracted whenever somebody drives by. Dave calls me shiny thing. I'm like, oh, squirrel, shiny thing. If this is going to be something that I really want to keep doing, I will invest in some decent snow boots and probably some pants. I get warm though, even when it's cold. I don't get cold. I go out in the morning to feed, and it'll be 35 degrees outside, and a lot of times I'll have shorts on. I'll throw on my rubber boots with my shorts, and sometimes just a t-shirt. Sometimes I'll just my fleece. By the time I get back in, I'm like, whew, I'm warm. But I have plenty of insulation naturally. The guy's, he's got a big, I don't know what that is, what you call it. I guess is that a snowplow? To me, the snowplow are the ones that are stuck to the front of a truck and they just drive down the road. This guy's just got the big flat blade and he's just pushing mounds of snow. This is what he did right like this right behind. I don't know if you can see that, where they just push it back for the, only the campsites that are open do they do that. You can't even tell he did it now. It's covered with snow. But yeah, this is nice. I mean, I'll definitely keep cold camping. I like to go when it's cold, and to have my stove. I love that stove. This is I think the third time now I've used it camping. But it's a long way to go for me to go camp in the snow. It's quite a drive. It's a 2-hour drive. South Lake Tahoe is where I'm at. And this is Tahoe Valley Campground. And it's pretty nice. The people in the store were real nice, friendly. She actually opened the door. They're closed, but she came over and talked to me and checked to see if they had the stuff that I needed, and they don't. But most stores, when they're closed, they just, if there's somebody at the door, they just ignore them, but they didn't here. So I did make do with my hot chocolate this morning, so at least I had something warm. I ate my oatmeal. It was okay. I should have brought my own oatmeal and made it myself. It's so much better. I put a little brown sugar and cinnamon in it. This was okay. I didn't put the peanut butter in it, but at least I had something. And I have a shepherd's pie for lunch. And that's another thing when I'm camping, I have no appetite. It's hard. I have to force myself to eat up here. Where at home, no problem. I'm an eater, obviously. But here, I don't know. And then I have a lasagna for dinner. Just add water so it's easy. I brought the bacon and eggs. I don't know if I'm feeling froggy later. I did bring my little flat cast iron frying pan. I could cook some bacon and eggs for lunch. But I'm feeling kind of lazy, actually. And I know I'm going to have a workout what I'm thinking I might be able to do, just don't know, is save the few big round logs I already have left. And I've got another box in the truck. I'll go through it really carefully. It can't be more than 15 inches long, because I think that's how long my stove is. It's got to be long enough that I can, or short enough that I can shut the door. I think I've got 4 or 5 in there already. I'll search for any more big ones. And if worse comes to worse, I do have my nice sharp little hatchet, and I use a sledgehammer and I just pound it through and split them. I can split some of those logs and then just break them in half. Just, you crack them over your knee or whatever. I won't crack them over my knee, but I will go over to the picnic table and crack them on that. And that'll give me some more. But I do have that one big box. What I did earlier this year is I took a bunch of redwood branches that have been down on the ground for a couple of years. They break off during the winter and they just lay there under the trees in our little foresty area. Well, I pulled a bunch of them out, really big long ones. Some of them are this big around, And I just took a skill saw, just cut them all up, threw them in a box, threw them in the garage, and I still have a lot of those left, but they burn so quick. They're just redwood. They burn, you know, in half an hour. You throw 3 of them in there, half an hour, they're gone. So they certainly won't last me all night. But if worst comes to worst, they will get me through my evening of sitting in there watching YouTube, whatever I'm doing, because it's gonna be cold. And just to keep the chill off in there, boil some water for my dinner. And then, you know what I have? I have a big bag of lump charcoal for the fire pit that I don't need because I have plenty of firewood. I can put that in my fire at night and just keep those hot coals. Yeah, that's what I'll do. It's a brand new bag, hasn't even been opened. So there should be some good big chunks. And I'll just make myself a nice big pile of those, because those burn slowly and they burn hot. Yeah, and I can just open it up, throw a bunch of those in, close it. Next time I wake up, throw a few more in, and that'll just keeps the chill off of there. So if I stick my arm out, which I tend to sleep like this, then you know I won't be too cold. That's what I'll do. Yeah, and they should catch pretty easily once I have a nice little bed of coals from my stick. See, now my left foot, my toes, they're a little bit cool, I can feel. I think the snow just comes up through the bottom of the rubber boots. These are really well insulated. They get hot. I can only wear them. I can't work in them at home. I just wear them to feed real quick. But if we're doing a project, these things, you're just sweating in these boots. They're super warm. But it was all I had. I'm like, I need to be at least somewhat prepared. But I figured if worst comes to worst, jump in the car and go home. But I'm not cold. I'm comfortable, and I'm loving watching the snow fall off the trees. There was no snow on the trees when I got here yesterday, and the snow on the ground was probably only about 6 inches maybe. But it's a good 8 or 10 inches deeper in some places than others. But so pretty. Pretty. I'm loving it. Alright, well, I will check back in later. I'm gonna get a fire going, and I'm just gonna sit here and chill. And now that I kind of have I think I have my fire issue solved, I should be good to go. So I'll check back in with you later. Alright, let's get a fire going. So I think I'm going to cheat and get all the water out of there, and start with a couple of these little tumbleweeds. Ooh. Do it the easy way. Come on, you. There we go. Get 2 of those going. Okay. These are nice and dry, little twigs. Bark. that going. Get my chair. I pulled my chair out and then I put it back because a big old clump of snow fell on me. Ugh. Whoa. I did put my raincoat back on because as soon as I started to sit down and get comfortable, it started pouring snow from the trees. Come on, get going. Burn, babies. These usually catch really easily. And then I can add some bigger ones. My fire pit's a little crooked, but I don't care because I'm not going to cook on it. I just want to have a fire. Whew. There's a little bit of a breeze. Just a tad. But luckily all the wood I brought has been in my garage in boxes, so it's all really nice and dry. So once it catches, I can throw a couple of big fat ones on there. And the nice thing is there's a fire pit right over there. You probably can't see it, but I can just dump all my ashes in that and throw some snow on them when I leave. Although it'll be out. I don't know, maybe not, because when I burn the lump coal in this, it's always still hot in the morning. I can usually just throw a couple fresh pieces or some wood in there and it'll get burning pretty quickly. Oh, this is nice. A little heat. Woo. Not much yet, but it'll get hot soon. I think I'm not in danger of a big clump of snow hitting my fire, but I am in danger of a big clump of snow hitting me, because I notice it's starting to melt in some places. It's still pretty cold. Let's see what the temperature is. I grabbed my phone and I'm sitting on it. It's in the pocket of my fleece. Let's see. You can hear the snow hitting my tent. Well, I don't know if you can hear it, but I can hear the snow hitting my tent behind me. Should put my hood on, keep my head wet or dry. Because once I sit still, then is when I would get cold. If I was going to get cold, I stop moving around, that's when you get cold. But my feet are waterproof. The hood on this raincoat is really, well, I guess that's a good thing. It comes all the way down, it'll cover my eyes. Okay, let's check the weather. We are in South Lake Tahoe. The fire's crackling. I'm gonna have to back up. Of course, as soon as it gets going, the smoke blows right in your face. It says it's 35 now, so okay, everything's gonna start melting. And now it shows it getting up to 37 today. Woohoo! With a little sun. But then a little bit breezy. It's showing the wind right now at 14 miles an hour. It's not too bad here in the trees. It blows through as gusts and then it'll just knock snow everywhere. But it's showing by 2 o'clock it gets back down to 8 miles an hour. Of course it did that yesterday too, and then it went back up. And then 5, and then overnight 2 mile an hour wind, 3 mile an hour, 2 miles. So hopefully that doesn't change later. And that's gonna get cold though. Yeah, it shows it getting down now to 22 degrees. And then by the time I leave, I'll probably be out of here between 10 and 11. It'll be 36 degrees at 10, 40 degrees at 11. Hopefully the roads will have melted. But we'll see. Whew. Of course the smoke's blowing right in my face. I need some medium-sized logs for here. I don't really have any big ones. have a lot. I definitely have plenty of wood to keep me going. Burn, baby, burn. Let's get you under here. No snow. Stop it. No more snowdrops on me. I wonder if that side will catch a little easier. Well, it's trying. That'll be going pretty soon. Pretty good. Snow keeps getting in my chair. Oh. Of course, the smoke blows right at me. But I do have my little hatchet and a sledgehammer. So what I do is I find a log that's somewhat flat, then I put another one on it, and actually I don't need to split that one. Let me split this bigger one. It's harder to do this way. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, but this is, can you see right here? I can't see the camera. And then I just do this. Because I'm not really strong enough to do it the old-fashioned way, but I tell you what, this really warms you up. But it keeps me busy. And I really will only need to do a couple because it looks like they're kind of going. I got some smaller pieces to go up there, but yeah, I'll sit out here for a while. I don't want to take this wood home. It's so heavy. A lot of it is oak and eucalyptus. Some redwood, not much. That one's stuck to the ground. Whew. I'm gonna leave that one in case I want to break another one. I shouldn't need to cut up any more of them though. Once these are going, I can just keep adding big ones. But yeah, a lot of these I can't split. They're just too hard and my axe is too small, my little hatchet. But next time, I need to make sure that I just saw a huge chunk of snow fall over there by the bathrooms. I think they have showers here too. Next time I'll make sure I have my wood for my inside stove cut to the right size so I have plenty of it. I have a lot more redwood branches that I'll be cutting up. We lost a couple, we lost the top of one tree, so Dave cut that up. It's sitting over on the side. Next year it'll burn great. And then all the dead branches that have been laying under there. When I'm bored and looking for something to do, I'll pull a few of them out, cut them up, throw them in a box, and I just leave them in the garage. They're already dry, ready to burn. And then I have, the small pieces to get my stove inside going. But yeah, I love fire. I sit out here, it's so warm now. So, all right, well, I got my fire going. I'm gonna sit here and chill. Maybe I'll make another Another hot chocolate. I'm right here off of the main turn when you come into South Lake Tahoe. I'm pretty close to, you know, where everybody either goes one way or the other way, and so the traffic, it's a lot. But it's fairly quiet. It sounds more like wind in the distance. They have heated bathrooms in this campground. That's awesome. Which is frozen. There we go. Whew. All right. That ice will melt off of there. I will get some more water. I think I'll make extra. I'll just fill it because I might go ahead and eat some lunch. There we go. That will not fall. I gotta move my table because I'm gonna move my chair again. No matter where I go, the smoke comes this way. It's kind of frustrating. I think I will come back. Hello. Okay, I did move back under the tarp. My camera batteries on the GoPro just keep dying. I don't get why. Maybe it's just too cold. That looks like it's hot enough for me. Get my coffee going. So I thought you can watch me pour my coffee. Oh, you know what I forgot? Oh, I can set it on this wood. That snow keeps falling. Keeps falling. So here, let me set this down for just a second. I do not want to get my gloves wet. So I want to move all that stuff out of the way. And my lighter, just in case. Okay, cleared off my little space. So I'm gonna get some coffee going. And I love this thing. Let's see, think I can keep from kicking this over? I'm such a klutz. And then just kind of really watch this. If I don't touch it, it shouldn't move. But I'm just dying for some coffee. I was so excited that they had this. Don't spill. It smells like Folgers coffee. It doesn't have a real strong, I like really strong coffee. French roast, Italian roast. But this is what they had, and so I was thankful for that. They had whole beans and ground. $14 for, was that a pound? I think that's just a pound. 12 ounces, yeah. So that was really expensive, but I got my coffee going. And in a few minutes, I'll have a nice hot coffee. I can pull the grill off of that now. And just keep feeding wood. I just want to burn up all the wood that I have here. I have nothing to do but sit and watch my fire. So there's no point in not using all the wood I prepared for this trip. And then I don't have to take it home. Oh, it's so nice out. The sun, look how bright the snow is when the sun comes out, and then it goes behind a cloud and the temperature feels like it drops 20 degrees. But all of those campsites you see with the yellow bags, those are all closed and the power's turned off. So they have water and power because these are RV sites. Their tent camping sites are all closed for the winter. I don't know why. Well, you know what? I do know why, because she said they don't bother to plow the roads to the tent campsites. And all the ones that are closed, they don't plow those. Like when I got here, my little driveway there was, completely free of snow. And now all that snow was from last night. And so that guy in the white truck, he's just zipping around up and down these roads, keeping all the ice off the roads. They're really nice at the store when I went over there. Drip, drip, drip. Takes so long to drip. My water's gonna get cold. They gave me a good tip. Oh, yeah, that's hot. They gave me a good tip to if I want to walk into town, which is basically walk through the campground here, and I'm close to the entrance. I'm really close. And she said right across the street, there's a little coffee shop. And if you buy a coffee, you get an hour free Wi-Fi. She said if I wanted to go over there and download a couple movies on my iPad, because their Wi-Fi here, she says they have Wi-Fi, but it's very slow. Come on, coffee, drip, drip, drip. Sometimes it kind of gets clogged in the filter. I do like this little coffee filter. I always take it camping. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. But it just all folds up and fits right into my cup, so it works great. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to go over there. I think I'll just watch my phone again tonight. I have unlimited power here, so that's nice. I don't have to worry about my batteries on anything. I just plug into my little power strip. I do have my... See, I almost kicked my coffee or my water over. I need this water for one more. Actually, I should just put it back on the thing over here. It takes me 2 of these to get a 16-ounce cup of coffee, which is what I like. I guess I'll just set it back on the fire. I need to put another log in there real quick. As soon as my coffee's done, I'll throw another log on the fire. I have that log there to set my feet on, so I'm not standing on the cold ice. And pick up a piece of paper I dropped. And that way my feet are toasty warm now in my hiking shoes. I'm just keeping them up off the snow. And I made little little paths everywhere. You can see I went down there and then out there so I can walk through there. I made one around the back of the tent so I don't have to step in any deep snow, and I don't have to keep putting my rubber boots on, because they're not, after you sit and stop moving for a while, they're not super warm. But I just walked over to the store, which is, I think that's it right over there. It's really close. And by the time I got back, my feet were all nice and warmed up again. But then as soon as you sit down and stop moving, they get cold. So yeah, come on, this water is just like drain, drip. It's gonna be cold. It's still warm. It shouldn't matter to me, because when I'm at home, I go out and feed in the morning, and Dave usually makes my coffee while I'm out feeding. And by the time I come in and actually sit down and drink it, by the time I'm done drinking my coffee, it's basically like iced coffee. So I don't mind if it gets cold, but I do want hot coffee today. But I want to get another log on there before it goes out. It shouldn't go out. There's a lot of coals in there, but I like to throw the log on when there's still a lot of flames. I just want that water to stay hot a little bit longer until this. So when this is done dripping, I'm going to fill it again with coffee and do a whole separate one, because otherwise it's just like so watery. It's, you know, I need it. I like it strong. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. So we'll check back in later. Well, see, now the sun's gone again behind a cloud. It just gets so cold. So I'm gonna head over to the bathroom over there and put on my thermals, because it'll be easier than trying to do it in the tent. And there's snow falling everywhere out of all the trees, but everything's all slushy. It's about 36 degrees, and it's gonna be down to 22 tonight. So I am going to be prepared, because I'm going to want to sit out by my fire, since there's no wind or no snow. I can sit out under my tarp, feed my fire. Whew, I'm out of breath, Been hiking around. Not used to this altitude, and it's not even altitude. We're only at 6,200 feet. That's nothing. But it does get your breathing up and your heart rate. But yeah, my feet are dry and warm. Don't step in the puddle. So yeah, it's so beautiful. I'm loving this. This is awesome. Got me out of my comfort zone. I was feeling some anxiety this morning first thing, but I got over that really quick. And I've just been having a really nice, relaxing time. So we'll check back in. I'm just still sitting out here, just relaxing. It's about 6:30 almost. Got my lantern going. It's a little ambiance. Fire, still got a ton of wood. I still got another box in the in the car if I want, but yeah, I don't even know if I'll get through that tonight. I was trying to burn it up so I don't have to take it home, but got a nice hot fire. No wind, no snow dripping off the trees anymore. It's down to about, well, last I checked it was 31 degrees, but I'm toasty warm right here. I'm sitting pretty close. And yeah, the sun's down. It's beautiful. Looking straight above me. I don't think there's any moon tonight. There was just a sliver the other night. But I threw a couple of small branches in my stove in there because it still has heat. There's still some couple, I guess, little coals burning in there. It's warm when I touched it, and the little fan is still going. It doesn't take much to get that fan going. So hopefully by the time I get in there, it will, you know, those little branches will be going. I'll have some coals. It'll be easy to start the fire in there. But I'm probably going to hang out here until 8 or 9. Just enjoying my fire. I don't know why the light flickers. This is my iPhone I'm filming with, because it's not flickering. But it does on camera for some reason. The fire doesn't. I don't know, it must be the LED lights. It doesn't look like the lantern flickers. I don't know. But yeah, it's gonna get down to 22 tonight. So I want to keep my fire going all night. I'll throw a bunch of hand warmers in my sleeping bag. And I'll probably make my dinner inside later. Once I get my stove going good and hot, boil some water, and I've got a meat lasagna from, what is it, Mountain Peak, I believe. I think that's what it is. I've had them before. They're really good. They're really good if you add some mozzarella cheese, but I didn't bring any. So I'm just, keep hearing noise behind me, but there's nothing. I'm just relaxing for a while. I'll watch some movies later. Gotta head home tomorrow, but I want to, checkout's not until 11, so I'm gonna wait until pretty close to that time so that the ice on the road is melted. A lot of cars are driving on it. It'll be a little safer to drive home. So I'm not in any hurry, but it's beautiful out. It's quiet. No wind tonight. I couldn't sit out here last night because the snow, look at that funny flame there. That's cool. The snow, as Tony says, was absolutely chucking down. It was grim. It was, the wind was blowing steady 21 miles an hour at one point with at least 30-mile-an-hour gusts. And all night long, I didn't sleep good. A gust would hit the tent and it would just knock all the snow down. And it a couple times it just sounded like a gun going off and just jolts you right awake. And then my tarp, I had let the two middle of the sides down so that snow wouldn't pack on top of it. And, you know, so I could hear it. I couldn't really tie it tight, so I could hear it, you know, really flapping last night. But I think I'll sleep good tonight because it's going to be quiet. 2-mile-an-hour wind at the most, I think it said. No snow, no rain. And, yeah, it should be quiet. I've been just sitting out here watching some other campers. Another one that I like is Outdoors with V. He's only got about 13 videos, but I've been going through them. I just discovered his channel, and he makes really good videos. I suck at this because I don't have decent cameras. The GoPros, especially when it's cold, I don't know what's going on with them, but the batteries die so fast. So you charge them up, they die. Um, I don't know. It's a lot of work, but I definitely just like being out. And since this is my first real snow camp, I've been pretty excited, and I was kind of anxious this morning. I don't know. I just had a weird feeling when I woke up. I don't know what it was about, but once I got up and moving, man, I was just happy to be here. I've had such a nice, relaxing day. And I tell you what, the people at this place are great. I've run into one guy who's works here a couple of times, and he's really nice. He's, if you need anything, you need any help, just let me know. I'm around. I'm like, cool. I saw him again today. He was just knocking the snow off of all the picnic tables around here, probably because it's not going to snow again for a while, and that way it's, they dry up and people camp. There's not a pile of snow still on their tables. But he went through, he did table after table, and he stopped to visit, asked if I was cold, but I'm like, no, not with this fire going. And in the store, the girl that was working in the store, she was in there yesterday when I checked in. Really, really nice. Super friendly. So I'll definitely come back here. This would be a nice place in the summer too, but I bet it's just crazy busy. You'd probably need a reservation. And I would imagine, you'd be packed car after car. If I did it in the summer, I'd probably do my car tent and sleep in the back of the car, just, back into your spot, set up my tent right there, and that would be nice. But I like it here. It's really getting dark now. Ooh, look at all this smoke. I'm burning a lot of this as eucalyptus, and I don't know why, but it really smokes when you burn it. I was smart enough to get my feet on a log here. I have it sitting there to keep my feet so I'm not having my feet right on the direct snow, and they're so much warmer. And my hands are great. I don't even have my gloves on because it's, it's nice and warm by the fire. This one too, whew, feels good. There are some hot coals. I would just cook my food out here, but the problem is trying to get the grill on there over the top of the logs, especially now that I'm full of coal down there, really hot coals. It's just easier to boil water on the flat stove inside later. But yeah, this has been really nice. I got some lights today to make it look good, and the nice thing is they plug in right at the end of my bed where my head is. That's where my extension cord is, so I can just reach over and shut them off whenever I want. I left them on last night probably till about midnight. Shouldn't bother anybody out here. There's nobody around me, and I don't know how bright they are from the distance, but I don't think anybody would care. I'm quiet, and I just, I didn't get to have a fire out here, so I just had actually, you know what? The lights weren't even on out here last night. I only had the lights on the inside of the tent. Yeah, I didn't hang them up on the outside. It was just too windy to bother. But I did leave them on inside, so that was nice. So, okay, well, I'm just going to chill out here with my fire. What time is it? I think. Yeah, it's just 6:30 now. So I'll probably hang out a couple more hours. Just relax, watch some YouTube. And I'll check back in when I go inside. Hopefully those sticks I threw in my stove will be going. So we'll see you again. Okay, so I'm back in the tent. I got my fire kind of struggling, but it's going now. And I got some water on. And I will be having my lasagna, Mountain House, not Mountain Peak, and hot chocolate. When my water boils, it'll probably be a while because that water was really cold. But my fan's going. It does not take much. This fan ran all day long when there was like barely any heat. So I kind of reorganized everything, put a bunch of stuff in the car to get it out of here. I got my wood all ready for tonight. I have some bigger logs to go in later. And if I run out, because it's going to be 22 degrees tonight, if I run out, I've got lump charcoal. I will just open that up and throw some charcoal in there just to keep the heat a little bit going. And let's see, it's trying to go. I had it going, but then I was neglecting it. I was still outside kind of goofing around, and it sort of died down. So I'm now trying to get it started back up again. And just gonna hang out in here and eat my food. Maybe watch a movie, or maybe some YouTube, TikTok, who knows. But once that water gets boiling, yeah, it looks like it's going. I got a lot of smoke in here. I had that whole side opened up for a while because the wood wasn't burning. It was just in there smoldering in the coals. But I had to open it to keep, trying to get it going. Just let a ton of smoke. But now it's really drawing good, so I can open it now. No smoke comes out. That's good. And I think I got all the smoke pretty much cleared out of here. Hopefully, at least down here where I'm at. So yeah, I'll check back in a while once that water's going. Okay, so I got my food cooking. I just stirred it for the second time. It's got about 4 more minutes, it says. And a double shot of hot chocolate. And it's really hot. I actually let the water boil this time. So it should be good. Kind of letting the fire, kind of die down a little bit. It got really hot in here. Really, really hot. But I had to keep it stoked up, otherwise it was going to take forever for my water to boil. But look at that thing spinning. It really, actually, you can feel the heat all the way over here. So hopefully that'll keep that heat coming over to me tonight. I haven't checked the forecast to see what the temperature is. I'm just turn this light down a little bit. Just chilling in here. I was watching some YouTube, waiting to eat my food, and then I'm gonna probably put a movie on and hit the sack. It's about 9:30 now, and I think I pretty much got everything organized, and I'm ready for bed. I just need to eat. I don't typically eat this late, but I am kind of hungry, and I know I felt pretty crappy this morning because I didn't eat anything yesterday after breakfast. I didn't have an appetite, and I should have eaten something, but I'll make sure I eat good dinner. Ooh, and I really like these lasagnas. They taste like, I don't know if you've ever had like SpaghettiOs when you were a kid. That's kind of what they taste like. I'll show you what it looks like. Anybody who backpacks has probably had these, because this is a pretty popular one. Can't do this with one hand. But do I not have my light on? Yeah, so that's what it looks like. It's just it's more like spaghetti than lasagna. But it tastes really good. And it's filling. And it's hot, so you're supposed to eat something hot before you go to bed to help keep you warm. Or just eat something, I guess. But it's kind of a mess in here, but it's better than it was last night. At least I can move around. I'll burn up all this wood pretty quickly, probably. And then there's some more back here. And then the big logs I'll put in, like later this evening. Whenever I wake up, I'll put one of those big ones in. And that should keep it, just to at least keep the chill off of it in here tonight. So I'm not freezing when I wake up. I had to peel all my extra layers off. And I was pretty warm. So I'm going to eat my food and put a movie on. And I will check back in with you in the morning. So if you're still watching, thank you. And we'll talk tomorrow. Good morning. So it's about 7:30, 7:15, 7:15, and I don't want to get up. It only got down to 27, so that's cool. It was supposed to, originally it said 22. So I slept so good last night. Although there was something like work trucks or something, and they were just making so much racket. I could just hear all this beeping all night. It's almost like they were doing road work, and backup trucks were beeping. So I just threw some more wood in the stove. I'm gonna try to get some water boiling here really quick, get some breakfast, get some coffee, and then start packing up. And I want to be out of here by around 11. Well, checkout's 11. I'd like to be out of here by 10. But I'm moving a little slow this morning, so I'll have to see. So I'll check back in when I get my water going. Whew, okay, so I got my fire going. Let's see how well that's going. That's going pretty good. It's warming up in here. It wasn't too cold in here. It is almost 8 o'clock now. I don't know what that was. And my water's almost boiling. Yeah, my water's almost boiling. So I'm going to get some coffee going. And the only thing I had for breakfast, because I only brought one breakfast, I guess, but I had this mountain berry cobbler from Peak. And I had this once before, and it was really good, but I accidentally, for some reason, I read 1 3/4 cups of water, and so it was like soup. But it tasted good. I couldn't eat it because it was like watery, but what I tasted was good. So I bought another one. It's only 3/4 of a cup of water. And when I tore the top off, the whole thing came apart, so I can't seal it, but that's okay. I can fold it over. And then I've got my coffee ready to go as soon as I get that done. It's really getting nice and toasty warm in here. The only problem is, well, luckily, if you stop feeding these stoves, they go out pretty quickly. So I won't add any more wood because my water's almost done, and I'm going to start packing up as soon as I eat my breakfast. So by the time I get all my stuff put away, the fire should be out enough that I can take the pipe down, and then I can carry this over to the fire pit and dump the ashes in there, and then it'll cool down really quick so I can pack it up. But I did want to warm up in here this morning so I can relax, but I don't want to spill my coffee. Okay, so I need to measure out water. 2/3 of a cup is probably, I don't know, that's a half. We'll see. It doesn't have to be perfect. Oh yeah, that's boiling now. Woo, woo, woo. Okay, I gotcha. Alrighty. Carefully. There's a half. I'll set that back there for a second. That's probably good. So I'm gonna, actually, if I have a couple of sticks down here. This is what I typically do to find a place to set my hot pot so it doesn't continue to boil. Do not spill boiling water on your foot. Oops, don't spill, turn it that way. Usually just set it like that for a minute. Okay, we're gonna pour that in there and stir it up a little. It's hard to do this with one hand. I'm gonna set you down for a second here. You can listen to the fire popping while I stir this up good. So this has pound cake, granola, strawberries. What is it? Pound cake and granola with heavy cream, strawberries, blueberries, and raspberries. So that'll be good. Get something in me. All right, I'm gonna just roll it up because the zipper thing broke. And I didn't even look to see how long you're supposed to let it sit. Of course, I tore that part off. Where is it? Yeah, the whole top of the bag came off. Stir well. Zip pouch, let stand for... let stand for 10 minutes. Really? That's a long time for a breakfast. Well, it's not really a breakfast pouch. Yeah, 10 minutes. Okay. Well, that'll give me time to get my coffee going. So let me fold it over once, pinch it off, fold it over again. I've never had one tear like this, where the whole zipper tore off. That's never happened. And I'm just gonna set it over here on some wood. Set that down there. Now, where's my coffee cup? Put it back in its little insulator. Get my filter on here. And set that there. Okay. And now we will get some water in here. And I'll do this twice because I want a whole cup. Ooh, that's going good today. I think the reason yesterday I had so much trouble getting this to really drip was because I think I put too much coffee in the little filter. And it's not the usual coffee that I bring. It's really fine ground. And I think it just kind of made a little coffee plug. Because that's dripping pretty good in there. Yeah, now where am I going to dump the... Where am I going to dump the coffee grounds so I can do a second? Because I want a full cup. Whew, it is getting warm in here now. It's nice. I put my fleece on, but I can probably just take it back off. Once that fire goes, man, these stoves, they heat up a small space like this so fast. I did last night left a nice little gap for fresh air because it got pretty warm in here. Yeah, you can still see over here snow and along the skirt. There's snow all the way around on the base here on the outside. Look at all that. Yeah, so that's gonna be fun. I've never had to do snow. Yeah, look at this one. This is going pretty quick. I'll have to dry my tent out when I get home, which luckily, I have a big garage and a huge front driveway area. And I live on 5 acres because we have an animal rescue, so we have property. So I have no trouble setting this stuff up at home and getting it all dried out. I know a lot of people, they don't have any place to dry their big tents out at home. I hear people talking on their videos a lot, and it's kind of tricky to figure out how to get them dried out, but I'm lucky. I have plenty of space. All I have to do is make sure my dogs don't lift their legs on the bottom, because a lot of times I'll just stake it out on the lawn. This time I won't have to do that because the inside and the outside are dry. It's just the base. So I can kind of fold it up and hang it somewhere and just dry the bottom out good. And I should be good. My problem is no, you know what? I'm going to need to open it up somewhere because all the guy lines are going to be wet. They're all going to need to dry. But that'll give me a project to do when I get home. So I slept in 2 pairs of smart wool socks, and I had a whole bunch of these hand warmers. I think I threw about 8 of them in my sleeping bag. And this one here, I just pulled this one out. This one is still hot. Still hot. And I put them in there at, I don't know, probably 10 o'clock. Come on, coffee, coffee, coffee. Oh, this is so nice. So when I was a kid, I spent most of my weekends in the desert in Southern California, the Mojave Desert. My grandparents always had property, and they would buy and sell little properties. They weren't rich. I mean, these were small little desert properties with no well, no electricity, nothing like that, back in the day. So that sounds kind of pretentious. Oh, they would buy and sell properties, but no, they would have, always like a little 5-acre property. And, most of the time they would have a small building, which, my grandfather always called a line shack. I'm looking for something to dump these ashes, or these, can I reach this? I'm just going to set my coffee grounds in on this. Here, don't fall over. Oh, you're close. You can fall over. But he always called it a line shack. And me, my sister, my brother, we'd all go out there on the weekends, every weekend. And, hang out. We had motorcycles, the little Honda 70s and the Honda 90s. So I'm just going to see if this works. Perfect. Now I can get another one. And we, as kids, we'd all ride the motorcycles around. My cousins came out. I had 2 cousins, Sean and Kelly. And we were all about the same age. My brother was the oldest. He's 5 years older than me. And I was the youngest of all 5 of us. Here, let me focus here for a second so I don't spill coffee everywhere. Because I want to get a second one. So I get a full cup. That's good. And we had this old, huge cast iron wood stove. And this, there's not like, this little thing. This was one of those great big ones that had 6 burners. It had the bread oven on the top. It had a broiler down underneath. The one side you put the wood in. The other side would hold water. I should have threw this back up there, but I'm sure it's still hot. And every morning, my grandfather, he was the kind, he was up before the crack of dawn. Oh, that's still pretty hot. I move my phone so I don't pour water on it. He would be up before the crack of dawn and get that thing blazing and warm up whatever, shack we happened to be in at the time. And it was cool because, whatever little shack or house or whatever, there were usually a small 1-room thing. And every time we would do a new property, we would put up a new outhouse, dig this huge big hole, build an outhouse over the top of it. It was a permanent thing. And then you just, occasionally you move them, you dump lye. I think it was lye you would dump down in there. And, so we grew up using the outhouse out there. And all of us kids, by the time we would roll out of our sleeping bags, most of us, we would sleep on those old folding lawn chairs that were really popular in Southern California. In people's backyards, they would fold up in 3, and they were made with these like plastic, loops across them. and you could crank them, crick, 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 and you'd have to pull it all the way forward to get it to go flat again. So we would sleep on those, but a lot of times we would sleep up on the roof. And I saw so many amazing meteor showers. I saw a couple of lunar eclipses up there. And, out in the one area where we had a couple places at was called Landers in the Mojave Desert in Southern California. And our house, I grew up in Riverside, and we were about 2 hours from there, I think, if I remember correctly. And there's no lights out there. There's no street lights. It's a small town, or it was at the time. And so the Milky Way was so amazing to see. You could just see it so clear especially when there was no moon. And so I grew up kind of camping. My grandmother always cooked. And both of my grandparents cooked. My grandfather did a lot of cooking too. He would fry up, he called it corn pone. I don't really remember what it was, but it was like, he would take cornmeal and make patties out of it and fry it. So we ate a lot of that. We ate a lot of bacon, hot dogs, obviously. Kids eat a lot of hot dogs, beans, anything you could easily cook over a campfire. And so that's how I grew up. So I love camping, being outside. But this was my first snow camp because, you would occasionally you'd get snow out in Landers, but it would be a light dusting overnight and it would be gone by noon. It was nothing like this. And so this was pretty cool. I was pretty anxious. Wasn't sure if I was gonna like it. And I tell you what, yesterday morning, I was really questioning what I was doing. It was so cold, and the wind had stopped for the most part. But as soon as I got up and got moving and got my tarp kind of popped back up, got a fire going, then I was like, yeah, this is what I'm doing here. Now I know what I'm doing here. This is awesome. I had such a good day yesterday, and I slept so good last night. So I will definitely come and do this good. And I felt safe because I'm at a campground, and I'm going to set you back down again. I'm on a campground, so there's people around. I wasn't secluded out in the middle of nowhere in case something happened. Whoa, I'm opening up I got a little thing of half and half here. So I knew I wouldn't have any, issues. If there was a problem, I'd just get in my car and go home, just throw everything in the back and go. But luckily, everything went well. I had such a good night's sleep last night. I'm very thankful for that because I was pretty tired. I did not sleep the night before, probably more than about 2 hours. And the fires, I think it's already starting to die down a little bit. Okay, let's set that down here. It's gonna drip. That's okay. Let's see if we can see into there. Is it fire going down? Yeah, it looks like it's going out. Okay, that's good, because it's still warm in here. Got some half and half in here. Oh. Stir that a little bit. This coffee's not the greatest. I'm used to a much stronger French roast coffee. Oops, I like my lid to go that way. But, you know what? It'll do. I was grateful they had coffee. Oh, that's hot. It just kind of tastes like, I don't know. It kind of tastes like Folgers. It's a little bit more bitter. So it's not bad. It has caffeine and it's hot. So that's what I'm liking about it. Oh, goodness. So it'll be pretty easy to pack up. I did throw a lot of stuff in the car last night just to make room. I'll throw a few things in that bag over there. Clean up this little bag in the corner. I didn't even open that ice chest. I didn't even need to use it. But you know what it did do, which was nice, is it kept my sleeping bag from touching because a lot of times, you get the condensation, especially down around the base of your tent. And if your sleeping bag's touching it, it soaks up that water. So I didn't have that. And I did the same thing on this front corner, but I did it with my bear canister. I just put it right there. Oh, my sleeping pad. You see how far away I am? My sleeping pad's popping out because I'm sitting on it, moving it. This sleeping pad is awesome. I paid, I think, about $100 for it. It's a Kelty, and I've had it about, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. I've slept on the ground many, many times because for the longest time, I just had my backpacking tent. And my friend and I would go backpacking, and, you know, it's been up to Yosemite, Mammoth Lakes. It's been to Bernie Falls. It's been all over the place, and it's been great. I've never been cold sleeping on that, even directly on the ground. Okay, well, I'm going to sit here and contemplate the best way. Actually, I think all those sticks, because I took the box out. This box was full. I didn't go through even half of that wood that I thought, you know, I brought that charcoal in case I ran out of wood. I was a little nervous that I was going to get cold last night. Didn't even get close to that. But all that will fit into that bag, which also has some sticks in it. It's an old charcoal bag, but it works really good for, you know, my twigs, my little fire starting twigs. So, yeah, I think I'll just put them in that bag, and it'll be easy to get my stuff put away. It'll probably take me about an hour to get all my stuff put away because I don't rush. I'll start by taking my tarp down and then pop this open so that stove cools down pretty quick. And yeah, so I'm going to eat my dessert. My not breakfast, but luckily I had something. I'm glad I had something to eat. Set it right there. Doesn't want to stand up. There we go. Yeah. So that'll taste good. It should be ready by now. That'll give me something in my stomach. And then Dave's like, just hit McDonald's on your way home. I'm like, I don't want to hit McDonald's on my way home. I did hit McDonald's on my way up here. And that's all I ate the first day was, I ate the egg and cheese biscuit. Which wasn't bad. The biscuit's kind of dry at McDonald's, but I'm trying to, well, Dave and I both are trying to stay away from fast food and laying off the bread because I have, oh my God, I have so much weight I need to lose. I'm so fat right now, but more exercise, cut back on some of the crap that I eat because I like to eat, but you know, sometimes you got to lock it up. So that's what we're going to be doing when I get home. Well, he's in pretty good shape. He's been cutting back. He pretty much cut sugar out of his diet, which I need to do, but I like sugar. So this kind of stuff, I'm going to have to stop it, sadly, but you got to do what you got to do, especially when you want to get out here and do stuff and you're huffing and puffing because you're overweight. Just get your little mindset in the set of I got to lose this weight, so this will be easier for me and it'll be more fun. And that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to eat my breakfast and I will check back in. I'm probably not going to film taking this stuff down because all my camera batteries, they just couldn't hold up to this cold. So I'll check back in when I'm headed out. So this is fun. I have to dig out all my lines here, but I can luckily trace there's my extension cord. I can trace the guy line down to where the stake's at, but the ground is frozen under here, so digging these out is going to be that's going to be a workout. Yeah. Okay. But I did set my chair up to take a breather in between. Okay, well, I got my fire pit put away. I dumped the ashes in the campsite. I don't know if you can see it back there somewhere. They have the big round fire pits. The ashes were still a little warm at the bottom from my fire last night because I was out here until I think about 8:30. So I just brought my coffee out here. And I got my tarp down and put away. And I'm just rocking relaxing a little bit. The inside stuff will go pretty quick because I'm just gonna, basically pack everything in the car and then I'll organize it when I get home. That'll be the easiest because I have to go through everything anyway. So there's no point in putting it away neatly when I just got to pull it all apart. And I'll take the tent down last. I can still see heat coming out of my stovepipe. So that'll come out last, but I've got I haven't added any more wood. Enough just to get my breakfast going, so it should cool down pretty quick. And once I get the stovepipe off of there, and I do have some really good gloves. They're made for, I think they're up to, what did it say, like 900 degrees, or it was more than that. It was some crazy amount for 10 seconds, and then just, normal, something hot like that, I could, easily pull those down and then carry the stove out and dump the rest of the ashes. So I'll put those big gloves on and do that that'll be the last thing I do before I take the tent down. So I'm just kind of relaxing. It's 9 o'clock and the guy just came by and he was cleaning the snow away from all the, the electrical water hookup things, because there's 200 Boy Scouts coming in today to do a week of survival training. So I am so glad I timed this perfect. I'll be gone before they get here. Checkout is at 11, check-in is at 12, and I'll probably be gone before that. I'm just gonna take a quick breather. It's digging these stakes out. It was easier than I thought. After I started digging the first one out, it was frozen down underneath there, but I have a really good little hammer. It's made for pounding the stakes in and pulling them up. It's got a really sharp edge on it, and it's really lightweight, so it doesn't wear you out. But it went right through that ice. And then on a couple of the bigger stakes, I was able to just pull on the guy line and pull them out. So that worked out. So I'm like, okay, that'll be, because I thought it's going to take me an hour just to dig all those out, but no, they came out pretty quick. So, I don't know if the ones around the tent, I have the biggest long stakes, the 12-inch ones. They're like giant nails. Those are the ones that I actually staked the bottom of the tent down. So they might be a little bit more frozen because, it warmed up and then froze and whatever. So, but I don't think it'll take me too long. So yeah, I'll check back in when I'm on the road. Okay. Last trip, hit the bathroom before I leave. Dump my trash in the dumpster, which I had very little trash. Most of it I just take home, but the cardboard boxes had my wood in. She told me just break them down, throw them in the dumpster. So that was cool. It's almost 11. It's much warmer today than it was forecast to be, which is nice because now I know the roads won't be icy. It's probably, I didn't look, but it's probably close to 40 degrees already. So it's nice. So I checked and then I double checked. And I did one last walkthrough and found a guy line that was buried in the snow that I missed. So got all my stuff out of here. Everything's good. And I'm going to be heading back down the road. So if you're still watching, thank you. And I'll try to get some of the other videos posted from my other camps. They're horrible videos because, I wasn't planning on doing anything but, just sending videos to Dave and making a little bit of content. But I do want to get my camping channel going, so I just need better camera equipment and, more experience. But it's fun. It's really a lot of fun. So I'm going to try and get some of the snow off my window, let my car warm up. Should just come right off. Yeah, that's good. I don't have like ice scrapers or anything because I don't get ice. But if I let it warm up for a little bit, I should be good to go. So, okay, I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Heading home. Road's nice and clear, but look at the mountain up there. How beautiful is that? Look at the snow. Woo. So pretty up here. The snow on the sides. I can't see where I'm facing my phone because I gotta watch where I'm going, but I just wanted to get a quick little video of the road heading out of Tahoe. Back on Highway 50. The stupid CarPlay keeps popping up on my phone. I shut it off, it comes on. Shut it. I don't want to turn on CarPlay. Hello. But look at that mountain. It's beautiful. Wow. I'm usually a passenger when we come up here, and I always get great videos, but I can't really do that now. But look at how gorgeous it is out there. All right, I better pay attention. Look at that mountain. That is so beautiful. Look at all that snow. Ooh. I wonder how many people are skiing up there. Ugh, love it. Hopefully there's no black ice. Temperature's about 40 degrees. Well, it's dropping, 39 now. But I don't think there's any ice on the road. Traffic's fast. I'll pull over and let people go by if I feel like I'm holding them up. So, back to driving.